Hi everybody. Hi everybody. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my process of recovery. I'm making sure this is working because at the moment I'm not sure. Uh, I'm going to assume it is. So here's my story. I'm a recovering compulsive gambler. My last bet was November 21st, 2007. And what happened before that is as important as what's happened since. Um, I had to start looking at what was going on with me. Where did my addiction come from? My addiction came from the history of my life, not so much just an individual situation where I started out and I went on. When I look back on it, and this is after I started recovery, I realized it started with marbles on the playground. That's where my book, How to Win as a High Roller While Losing Your Shirt, um, came from. It looked at all the different things that happened. Well, taking that into consideration, let's take a look at what that means. That means that the addiction wasn't about money. And that's what people so often think is that compulsive gambling is about money. It's not. For me, it was about escape. It was about having some control over something I didn't have control over. It was about thinking I was going to win big when I really often didn't. And unlike so many who had casino gambling or gambling of that nature as their my fix was scratch off tickets. And what happened is this: I would over the years I slowly and slowly did one here, one there, and at some point it became a regular thing. And as it became a regular thing, it was an escape from a situation that was going on at home. I would do it at the end of my work shift because I was working at a convenience store, and and that meant that I could avoid being home and having fights with my ex-wife. So I'd do it for a while there. As time went on, it got worse and worse and worse, and I was hiding things. Well, what happened is at some point it became so bad that I almost lost my job, and that was what happened in 2007. It was that whole situation kind of blew up. I ended up on a 3 days pending, which meant 3 days to fight for my job over somebody stealing money from my till who happened to be the manager for the overnight. And I couldn't prove it. But in the end, I was able to keep my job. What happened after that is this: I ended up in adult psych because I was so depressed and so struggling with it, and a lot of it dealt with other things. The path to recovery went through an adult psych unit for suicidal depression. It went through fighting to get my job back, which I got my job back before I went into the adult psych unit. And even though I had my job back, it was still 3 months before I started it up again. So November 2007 comes around, November 21st, 2007 to be exact. And that's when I went to my first GA meeting. I went there, I did the test, I passed the test, and I left there thinking that I'm not as bad as the others around me. And I went 2 blocks down, bought $1 scratch off, and at that point I said, I can't do that anymore. Because if I can listen to the stories of people wanting to die, doing prison time, and all these other things because of their gambling, and then turn around and buy a scratch off ticket, that's a bad thing. So at that point, I began a process. I was working the convenience store for about 3 years after I started recovery, selling the very addiction that I had to other people. And the only way I could do that is to find a way to make scratch off tickets unappealing. And to do that, I had to make an association. I made an association with a nasty bathroom. So every time I thought about gambling, I had to go to the bathroom, got one whiff of that, and it was like sewage. The smell of sewage was now connected to the gambling. And that helped me get through that 3-year period. But so did some of the other things I learned, and that is taking some things that a man by the name of Dr. Lowe from way back in the 1930s had come up with about changing your mindset. And I made it personal. I made it so that every morning I got up and I got some thinking going. That's where How to Win as a High Roller came from. That's where the preceding books came from. And so hopefully that helps you to understand it. What I want to do from here on out is ask for questions. So when you watch this video, ask some questions, and I will do a live video show at another date, probably 3 days, to talk about the questions that were posted and that were asked. So that's where I'm at with it. I just wanted to throw out the broad picture, and in the near future, I will do one that's very detailed and very long, but I didn't want to do that today. And I've been called a loser because I didn't stick with it. And the problem with that is I'm a winner because I'm not gambling. I actually have better financial situations today than I did at the end of my gambling. It's still not better than it was at other times in my life, but uh, nowadays I spend most of my time working on trying to help people with a gambling addiction. If you're looking for help, reach out for me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. You look out there and you'll find me. If you search my name, you'll find all sorts of things. So here's looking at you, and here's hoping that this reaches you, and if you want recovery, reach out. They'll have that opportunity. Thank you.